Welcome to Odoo Essentials. In this lesson, we will go over the different ways to manage product prices. We'll cover using a single sales price per product, different sales prices based on customer segment, and finally, advanced pricing based on formulas. First, we'll talk about using a single sales price per product. In the configuration menu of the Sales app, under the Quotations and Sales section, we'll see three different options for sales price. We'll leave the default and simplest option selected for now. Let's click into the Products menu and select a product. To change the unit price of the product, we simply edit it here. We'll change the sales price to $150 and save the product. Then, click into the Quotations menu to create a quote. When we create a quote and add our product, consulting, the price we chose appears, though we can always change the unit price on an individual quotation. The second way to manage prices is to use different prices by customer segment. In the Sales app settings, we'll activate the second pricing option. With this option selected, we'll still configure product prices directly on the product form, but we'll be able to add several prices per product using price lists. Now we'll see a new price list submenu in the configuration menu. The default price list is Public Price List. Let's create another one and call it the Good Customer Price List. Let's save it and go back to the consulting product we used earlier. Now in the Sales tab of the product form, there is a new Pricing section. When we edit the product, we can choose a different price for each price list. The prices we set here will override the basic sale price in the General Information tab of the product form when adding the product to a quotation. If we don't add any price list prices, the basic price will be used. We can also add price lists to customers. To do this, let's go to the list of customers, click into the form view, and in the Sales tab, we can choose the customer's default price list. We'll link the Good Customer Price List to Axelor. Now when we create a quotation and choose Axelor, the Good Customer Price List that we just linked to this partner is enabled by default. And when we add a product, the corresponding price is used. Note that you can change the price list on the quote, but if you do so, the prices of products already added to the quote will not change. You will need to remove the product from the quote, change the price list, and then add the product again to get the correct price. This is the second level of price management. It is still relatively straightforward, with no calculation of prices. Now we'll move on to the third and most advanced level, using formulas to calculate prices. To do this, let's enable the third option in the Sales settings. With this option enabled, we can configure product prices on both the product form and on the price list directly. We can also modify either of these prices using calculations defined on price lists. Now when we go back to the Price Lists menu and select the Good Customer Price List, we see that a new column, Applicable On, has been added. When we click Edit and select one of the line items, we see that the change we made to the price of the product consulting is still reflected in the price list as a fixed price of $120 applied to the product consulting. Besides individual products, we have several other places to apply a price modifier. Selecting Global will apply the modifier to all products in your database. Product Category applies only to a specific product category and all of its subcategories. We can choose a specific product, of course. And finally, we can go into greater detail and choose a specific product variant. We'll discuss product variants in more detail in a later lesson. In the Price Computation section, we can choose Fixed Price. We'll choose this option for consulting and save the line item. We'll modify the next line to apply to the product maintenance. Let's choose a percentage discount of 15% and save the line item. When we save the price list, we'll see the price modifiers here. Let's test out this price list on a new quotation. We'll choose Axelor again because we assigned them the good customer price list earlier. When we add consulting, the price we chose on the price list is added. And when we add maintenance, the price is calculated based on the sale price on the product form. If we click into the product form, we see that the price is $90. Minus the 15% is $76.50. Let's save this quote and go back to our good customer price list to have a look at using formulas to modify prices. Clicking back into the maintenance line item, we can change the computation to formula. This opens up some new possibilities. We can base the calculation on the public price, which is the price entered on the product form. We can also use the cost price from the product form, or another price list. We'll use the cost price for this calculation. To the cost price, we'll add $20. Saving the line, we'll see this represented as a $20 surcharge. When we create a quote, we'll see the price has now been calculated as $65. Going to the product form, we see the cost of the product is $45, as we would expect. Let's go back to our price list again and select Consulting. We'll compute a formula of the public price minus 10% and minus 10 cents. Creating another quote, we can see the calculated price again. As you can see, there are many options for calculating prices by this method. There are also a few additional options available beyond the calculations we just covered. You can set the start and end date for each price list item. The item will not be deleted when it expires, but it will no longer be taken into account when calculating prices. The rounding method allows you to round off prices. Prices will be rounded up or down to the nearest multiple of the value you enter in this field. For example, entering $1 will round the price calculated by the price list to the nearest dollar. Prices are rounded after discounts, but before the surcharge. You can make all your prices end in 99 cents by rounding to the nearest dollar and adding a -1 cent surcharge. The minimum and maximum margins will constrain the price calculated by the price list to within the cost price plus each of these values. And that's all for prices. In the next lesson, we'll go over sending invoices. Thanks for watching.